What is up, guys? It is your boy GRC. Sorry, my mic wasn't plugged in. I just spilled some water on the ground. Fantastic. And I hope everyone's having an amazing day. It's your boy GRC, Crypto in the Morning, live every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Oh, I'm tired. Whew. What a morning, what a night, what a last 3 days. It's been pure crypto bliss. We're talking about ETH, ETHW, and then ETH Fair, ETHF, which I just got finished purchasing Ethereum F and Hex F on that chain. And it was a pain in my butt, but it wasn't really that hard. But with the guys that know what they're doing, it's not very hard for me. You know, the gym rat. I'm learning the tech part. I'm good with the brain part, but sometimes the computer part's hard for me to pull off. So today we're going to be talking a lot about the computer part, where you're actually just clicking buttons on certain websites, gaining advantage, gaining knowledge, gaining understanding, and gaining positions in some of your favorite assets in history. I mean, seems fun to me. I'm not a hater. There's haters out there. They want tech to stop. Stop that. Stop all that tech. I already have made money. You understand? I've made enough money on this stuff. I don't want to switch it up. Well, technology does not have any feelings, guys. That's where you're wrong. That's where you don't understand. So we'll be talking about all this today, along with how to get involved in all of these things. Now, I'm not endorsing that you do this. This is all super highly speculative and could very easily fail. This is an experiment. This is an Ethereum experiment right now that's going on. And we're going to see if this is the way adoption looks. It could look vertical or horizontal. We don't know exactly yet. But all the big brains are hinting towards, well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but guys, everyone, Crypto in the Morning, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, hit the like, subscribe now. Bullish will post.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way. Defi Pro, yeah. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Good morning. Whoops, gotta mute myself for a second because my mic. Hopefully that's a little bit better now. How is everybody doing? This is what a crazy time in crypto. We have the merge, which causes a lot of very interesting things to happen, like additional forks, right? We don't know what's going to actually happen with these forks. Like, are they going to gain some level of adoption? And I was thinking about this yesterday. What if you were to take South Carolina and you were to pull every single human body out of South Carolina in the snap, right? Like Thanos style. Nobody's left in the state. What do you think happens? Guarantee there's going to be some people that come back to South Carolina, even if they got transplanted to, the paradise in their mind, wherever that might be. There's going to be an influx of people back into South Carolina. And that's effectively what's happening with ETHW. Now, does that just mean people are going to go in and try to pull their shit and leave? Is there going to be people staying there? We're not sure. But
there's no liquidity, so it doesn't matter.
But liquidity has increased. So
I know, but I'm saying, like, for bigger players, like, come on. Like, if a real bigger player, Sam, they can do whatever they want. They're just waiting for their decision.
Oh, yes, correct.
It's a decision for bigger players. Do I want to get involved? They can let this shit die if they completely all band together and say nobody will get involved. It'll take too long, maybe, or whatever. They could probably disrupt it with some sort of. But Hex brand, I like the Hex brand. I think Richard loves the Hex brand, and I think this community doesn't know what's going to go down in the next couple months to a year. It's going to be insane, and I can tell you by firsthand experience. You guys can watch all the other channels if you want. If you think you're getting this value on any other channel, you're insane. Bullish has not slept tonight. We have all been keeping up to date to the moment when these things are available on any exchange or in any situation. So just make sure you hit the like, hit the sub, and Bullish, post that tweet down there. Make sure you retweet that tweet and let everyone know we're in here. And let's get this party started.
So talking about alpha, I've been tweeting a lot over the last several days since this has been happening, and I've been paying attention to
pull those babies up right away.
Yes. Okay. So let me see if I can pull that up at the same time. But
because I've been retweeting just about on repeat every single one of them, just because I don't even have to read it. I know what you're doing, and I know what's correct, and I know what's right.
Because if you go through and I'll pull up the tweet and then I'll pull up the spreadsheet, or it probably has all this actually in the spreadsheet.
And just start from when you get these things pulled up. I want you to start for the new guys in here, because this is confusing as at this point, not for us because we're just doing it all day long. But guys, we're talking about relative value here between two assets. We don't really care the chain right now. It seems to be a premium that just exists right now, and that's what Sam's excited about. So let's talk about what you're thinking and what you're going through when you're putting these tweets out there, and what you're learning as you look at all these LP pools.
So that's a great segue there. When you look at any ratio, so people who are not familiar with using a DEX, like the decentralized exchanges, everything is a ratio of something else. So most people are familiar with looking at things in terms of USD. Right? What is that? Well, that's $75 or that's $700, right? Well, when you look at a DEX, especially when you're at this such early stage or something, you don't necessarily know exactly how things are going to play out. And you look at the ratios of things, right? Because that's how everything actually trades in crypto, is a ratio relative to something else. Bitcoin's 20,000, say Ethereum is 1,000. Right, then that's 20 to 1. That's what that means, is a ratio, 20 to 1, right? If the ratio were Ethereum's 1,300, the ratio is going to be less than 20 to 1. Well, when I was looking at these ratios for ETH 2.0 versus ETH W, I noticed there are actually two things. I called this twice over the last 48 hours. The first was that when you looked at Hex on ETH W, and then you looked at Hex 2.0, and you looked at the ratio between those two, there was a 39x to get to the parity level. And then if you do the same exact measurement from Hedron W to Hedron 2.0, the ratio between the Hedrons was massive. So if you're like, okay, if you understand that they're both immutable, they both work together, they both work on both chains, and it's just code, then you would expect that the ratio for Hedron to Hedron, Hedron W to Hedron on 2.0, the ratio is going to be similar to the ratio of Hex W to Hex. And if that was 39 and the other one was like tens of thousands, I was like, this is the first tweet, not the tweet that we have up here. This is the first one I did before I did this one. I was like, Hedron is going to continue to gain value relative to Hex. And I moved all my liquid Hex that was Hex W, right? So this is like pennies on the dollar shit. I moved all that into Hedron. And then throughout the next several hours, I said, this is going to get to around 10,000. Boom. 5 or 6 hours later, it was at around 10,000. And then I did it again with this tweet that we're going to go through and read.
And there's no reason for you to sell that position. Why, Sam? That complete position. Why?
Because of this tweet here.
Right.
This
and
tweet here.
The reason he's trying to find assets where the floor is already in. He's trying to find assets. That's why we're so kind of away. Ethereum on the regular chain, we're kind of strong away from that, because look at what it's doing. It's bleeding out. Why? Because you guys overinvested and it became a bubble, and that's what happens. And it's still going to go up, But max pain, we need pain. We need pain. Me and Sam are feeling no pain because we're not over leveraged in an asset. That's the only reason why. You know what I mean? We're just starting and we don't care because we understand the technology. But over 5 or 6 years, you can make a lot of decisions in crypto. And you can stake a lot of stuff and think of technology is going this way and keep all your stuff non-liquid. And then you see what happens when people need liquid funds, when people need to understand $200, $300 speculatively, safely into these assets is going to put more than $700,000 into an asset that's bleeding out for 365 days straight.
And we don't know how this is going to play out, but we understand that even if it is a little bit better than Ethereum Classic, Hex still works. I already did a 1-day stake to test it out. I already claimed my free Hedron and pulled out my Hex stake, right? There is liquidity. It is growing over there. Also, right before we get into this tweet, if you go to, I think it's OK Link, which is the block explorer for ETH. The block explorer, they put some interesting statistics up there. And within, I don't know, it's been 72 hours or so since the merge. There's 1.7 billion transactions already. So there is definitely people over there. There's people that are transacting. There's people that are taking their free coins and playing with them, right? There's people that are bridging in new money. Don't use Gnosis Safe. Don't use the Omni bridge with Gnosis Safe. There was a replay attack there not because of anything on ETH, but because
learning experience. Let's go. So what is it? How it happened and why?
ETH W has EIP 155, which is what I believe Vitalik wrote 4 or 5 years ago to stop. So the replay risk has been stopped. Not everybody has implemented this. It effectively changes the chain ID, right? So, when you go into MetaMask and you put in, new information, your RPC code, the name, et cetera, well, there's a new chain ID, and it just makes the chain ID be part of the hash, part of the transaction, so that it basically stops the ability for replays. Gnosis and the Omni bridge, which coincidentally is the same bridge that's going to be in Pulse X. I'm not trying to say that there's FUD or anything like that, but if this issue is happening on Gnosis Safe with the Omni bridge, that is, Richard Heart said that's the bridge he's using. Well, somebody should fucking tell Richard to make sure this shit's updated. Just saying, right? And they were able to replay a transaction that took place not because of anything on ETH, but because the bridge is effed up. The bridge, the chain ID, they're using the same chain ID when the chain ID should be different. Sounds technical. You're like, I don't understand. Basically, just don't use the Omni bridge with Gnosis Safe, period. There's other ways of doing this.
I've never messed around with that. I've only felt negative feelings when I go on. Like, there's claims that I have on Gnosis that I won't even do because I'm lazy, 1, and 2, I don't really care for it's not that big a deal.
So let's now, and I've been going down different roads. Let's finally get into
the roads.
There's been this crazy last couple of days.
And then the guys in the chat, real quick, we'll just stop this and Sam can just think for a second, Sam. Just think what you want to talk, because there's a lot to talk about. Like, it's just hard to even be normal. It really, really is hard to be normal. Like, but that's why we've been preaching emotional fitness for so long. I told everyone these times will happen. And if you think I can't sleep because I don't have a bigger position in ETH W Hex, then you're an idiot. Because it's just about calm. These experiences, they come and go. That you always will have another opportunity to buy a decent buy. Maybe not on every little asset, but guys, Zen token, all these forks, everything that's coming out. There's opportunity in abundance everywhere, but everyone wants you to feel like there's not. So put all your hard-earned USD into one thing. I disagree. I think it's preposterous. I think it's phony. And I think it's not what adoption looks like. And that's why people like Richard, you, and myself have to ignore everyone while we spit the truth, because there's no one wants to, you know what I mean? Like, what are we going to like have debates on the shit? Like, no one even has debates anymore. They all are horrible. They all are incentive riddled, disgusting. And then the same thing happens to Hex people when they get a lot of money and they stop paying attention. They don't want tech to move on. but tech don't give a fuck. And Richard knows that. Richard's well aware of all of this stuff, 100%. And I guarantee he would be thinking about it more like we are, because it's just the facts that are laid out in front of you.
Yes, and there's some security concerns, but I will refocus here and read through. You want to read through this tweet here, and then I'll go through and explain it? You're muted.
ETH 2.0 and ETH W ratios. And now we can add to that another ratio for tomorrow's tweet. I would expect this gap to slowly close over time. If ETH W continues to gain adoption, which starting at 0 isn't hard to do. Exactly. Wow. Sam understands things. Wow. Like, that's so too logical for crypto Twitter right there. Way too logical, which started at 0. So it's hard to do. Like, yeah, like, come on, guys. When you need $12 to correct the price chart, you can safe to say we have some time. Like, but you guys are so ill prepared. The people that freak out are so ill prepared mentally to even handle this information that they don't know how to take it. So they just scream and yell. When this is compared with the price ratios of Hedron and Hedron W and Hex W, this simply implies Hedron W has a lot of upside relative to Hex W, because in a world where Hex works out no matter what, like everyone thinks, which I kind of think too, like I think it to some degree, Hex will remain. So yeah.
Thank you for reading that. So when we looked at these ratios, right? So what are these ratios? We have Hedron is the top 2, right, with all the zeros. Hex are the next 2, right? So this is yesterday at the timestamp at 1:40 p.m. yesterday. So you look at ETH 2.0 and you look at Hex divided by Hedron, right? So that is 1 Hex is basically 9,800 for the ratio between those two. Now, if you do the same exact thing, Hex divided by Hedron, it was 1,000,006. So what did I do? I moved all of my liquid Hex W to Hedron because I see these ratios, they're going to be off. Even if it doesn't go from 1 million down to, say, 10,000, I was like, either way, this is going to close some way. This is way too far off for this ratio in like any market that is even slightly efficient. So this, as you can see from the timestamp, was from 23 minutes ago. Basically just bragging. I called this yesterday. If you're familiar, this means that Hedron W has gained value relative to Hex W. This is why I switched all over, as I just explained. Now this is from 30 minutes ago. Again, we have these ratios from yesterday. That's the top half, right? 1 million for the ratio between Hedron W and Hex W. Now, on the bottom, this is today's prices. Today's prices for this. Look at the ratio differential between these. It went from where we were at to look at this ratio between two different networks. We went from 98 down to 10.7 on the left-hand side of the chart here from 2.0. That's the proof of stake.
And a lot of this, Sam, is because of when Hedron was released. That's what people don't get. They think it's like, oh, Hedron and Hex are two different things. They're just different. That's just it. It's like, nope. Whether they're the same thing or not, one has no liquidity. The other has a fuckload. Learn, guys. Understand why price moves, okay? Why price continues to bleed down when there's not enough USD value moving into these assets. And in Hex, if you want it to survive long-term, we need circular regurgitative money to a degree with all these assets, because there's bots, there's people like Sam, there's guys making money off this, there's guys that put jobs into this, there's guys that do everything into this. And we're just we love Hedron because there's more room to run. Guys, for the gym rats out there, it's got more room to run, and the downside is 50 to 95% from here. That's zero downside in crypto, because everything else has that downside as well. But I didn't have to spend any money to get 0.01% of the supply of Hedron. But for Hex, I need $1 billion fucking dollars. So understand, this is about how much of the pie you have. This is not about spending $40. Yes, for some people, this is about spending $40 and then having a retirement fund with Hex and blah, 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 blah. No, we're a bunch of internet degens. Let's get real. Richard Heart is the biggest internet degen I have ever met in my life or seen. And he taught me and Sam like a lot of this information, because this is what is real. This is just real. This is just the info. And there's not enough guys talking about the info. So when Sam comes in, starts talking about this stuff, people get shocked. It's almost, there's a shock factor because there's a man laying out real numbers to you with real theory. But Sam, my favorite part about Hedron is the lack of downside. That's my favorite part.
Why don't you highlight that? Because we talk about, say, ICOSA, right? And then some people think that there's a little bit of a floor under there. I'm not saying that there's not, but it's pretty shaky for ICOSA. But talk about the downside with Hedron.
I'll talk about that right now. How about this? Okay. This really helps people figure something out, since you guys can't do it without Twitter or Richard filling you in or like an update. Guys, look at this chart. This launched in a brutal ass bear market and it went straight up. A lot of guys with a lot of it sold all of it. It got oversold to the point where it was 50% lower than its original price. I know that's the floor because you can't sell shit there. There's nothing there. When it gets that low, there's no liquidity. All rich people don't care. Everyone with $5 to $100 doesn't care. It's just the little traders like me, Sam, and Bullish just did on ETH. It's the same concept. There's no liquidity. So people are going to buy this asset because they believe in it long term. And look at this chart. And then how about we'll do a little experiment real quick. I'll go to the HEX chart now.
Okay, so you pull up the HEX chart. I'm going to finish.
It'll only take 1 second. So
you pull that up, and will you pull up the HEX chart from the time? Because I think I know what you're going to show, and I'm going to talk about this while you pull that up real quick.
Well, it's literally going to. I pulled it up already.
You got it up, ready to go?
Yes. Okay. So it's guys. So I'll zoom out on this. This is just the. So when something starts gaining too much steam, guys. 2 years of straight price up action, it doesn't mean the asset sucks. It means you were in an inflation bubble and you were buying shit you shouldn't have been. Okay. And then you should have been buying right here. And kind of like, we all did a little bit of buying right here. I bought right here. This was my first buy ever. Ever. 2 cents ish. And it went all the way up. And you know why I've always been hesitant to buy all this, Sam? Because I don't have $100 million. And I can't move the asset at all. So I'm just at the mercy of everyone with money who dumps on my head. So why did I switch to other assets? Because they were new, they were light, they were fluffy, and they had the same product market fit, but no downside because there's no volume. That's all I got to say about that. And if you have questions on that, please let me know.
No, and it's very similar to the beginning of HEX too, with like the downside on Hedron. So when you looked at the ratios, right, it was off. I was like, on the one side, it's this, right? 9,800 versus $1 million on the other side. I was like, there's no way. Even if this doesn't, there's no way this is going to sit at $1 million. This is going to get closer, even if it's at 20, right? 20,000 instead of 9,800. I was like, there's no way this is not possible given the hype, given what people are doing, given how early we are.
Given that they're the same users, Sam?
And less than 24 hours later, the new ratios on the 2.0 side are 10.7. That's this bottom left-hand corner number. And then on ETHW, 10.488. What does that mean? That means all the HEX W that I switched over to Hedron because I was like, these ratios are fucking bananas right now. This has to collapse. I've gained a boatload of purchasing power relative to HEX. So now I could take all that Hedron and go back and buy more Hedron. I'm sorry, go take all that Hedron and buy more HEX at multiple X's of what I just could have purchased it.
Of course. Yes.
Multiple. This stuff that is going on right now is astonishing, right? And gives us that for me, this is personal takeaways. This is giving me more confidence in what I'm already doing in crypto because I haven't gone through this before, right? I've been in here for 10 months in crypto.
So yeah. Before we move on, I just want to let everyone know I'm not answering every nuanced question so you can lose all your money on the internet in the chat. So like if you think I'm just going to pick your one question, answer it, even though there's a million nuances associated with it. And you obviously don't know what you're doing because you have to watch a YouTube video to directly learn what's going on. You should just be patient and learn and focus. And Bullish will tell you all this stuff at the end or whenever he wants.
And what we're going to transition to ETH POW in just a minute here. Bullish is going to come on in a few minutes, and he's going to show us exactly that. But some of the takeaways from this.
ETF just tweeted their Uniswap is live.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Talk.
So we're going to get into that in a second. Think about the takeaways, guys. From this.
On my heart rate.
You don't need to put any new capital in if you don't choose to, right? But you can put it if you want to degen, if you want to do this, if you care to, if you understand that these are the moments when $100 can turn into $1 million. At the same exact time, $100 can turn into $0. So I'm not saying you should do anything.
Don't spend a lot of money, guys. Let's be serious. Don't use a lot of money. If you're using a lot of USD value during this and the kids got stuff to do, you're an asshole, you're an idiot, and you need to turn your computer off. This is for guys that are in a certain position in their life where they don't have they have either enough money where it doesn't matter, or that they don't have enough responsibilities where they can over leverage themselves, because we're risky people. I'm a risky person in general. That doesn't mean I over leverage on the credit cards and do stupid stuff, but I don't care if I go to zero on a couple $100 3 times a year, 5 times a year. Well, now like 50 times a year, but like every once in a while, I pulled out 3 times my money on HEX W yesterday and got it out into my PayPal, good to go. And that's a payday. That's a payday. That's a nice little payday for me. And that's not everyone's experience, and that could be the biggest fuck up of all time. But I'll buy back.
He could literally just be like, okay, well, that 3x that he just got, and then there's another 30x.
Yeah, but I bought all the Hedron, but I bought all the Hedron and didn't sell it. So it's just like,
yes, correct. So let's have Bullish come on and start talking about ETH POW. Right?
Yeah, and the implications of some of this Uniswap stuff for ETH, because I want to know how do we link?
You guys want to talk about ETH? Remember, there's ETH POW and then ETF. So you guys want to finish talking about ETH POW?
We want to go from step to step. So let's start. 3 days ago, guys, the Ethereum system state was forked. The largest airdrop in history was performed, and we all started buying HEX and Ethereum and Hedron on that chain immediately. The price action went crazy. I'm pretty sure HEX W or whatever is hitting all-time highs, or did last night, or it's bouncing though. It's bouncy. But so we were on top of all that, and now we're realizing that technology is moving forward. And maybe this is not the way it works, but right now they're putting this stuff out there. People are creating front ends, and I'm going to take advantage of it because I want to. And I know how to deal with separate wallets and how to move my stuff around safely and how to not interact with my staking wallets. If you do not know how to do that, you need to get out, and you need to learn that.
By the way, for people who are not aware, and then we're going to get into the ETF, right? At the all-time peak for HEX, they had less liquidity. At the all-time peak, 50 something cents, right? There was less liquidity than there is today. Think about that.
Yeah, wrecked.
Now, if you look at ETH POW, and I'm tracking liquidity for HEX, personally, just manually, because I don't have any tools, so I just literally go through and count up the pools in the top 100 for Dex Screener. And liquidity is growing, right? Liquidity is growing. I'm counting it a couple times a day. And liquidity is growing. I haven't counted it today, but I just was glancing at that while GRC was getting point across there. And it is still growing. I'm going to go through after the show is over with at some point today and add up liquidity. Check my Twitter is down below, because once I do all these things, I tweet them out. So if you want to stay on top of this stuff, there's a link down below. And if you're watching on GRCM's channel, the other channel that we have, the Crypto in the Morning channel, CITM
channel, guys. We'll drop that link below. We need you to go over there and hit the subscribe button. Right over there. And we stream on all 3 channels every single day. And if you guys appreciate the alpha that we're giving you, I want biceps in the chat. Let's amp the chat up a little bit, guys. If you like this information, come on, let me know. Let me know you're happy. Let me know you're liking it. Let me know if you think I'm a degen. Let me know if you think I'm the biggest scumbag in the world. Hit the comments. Hit the like, hit the bell, because after we perform all of these trades and these work-throughs, we generally publish them.
Yes, most of them. Yes, correct. Not necessarily my address. Okay, so let's get into ETH POW. What is ETH? I'm sorry, ETF. Let's get into ETF. So we already knew that when the merge happened, we were going to have one or multiple forks, right? There's different people that wanted to fork and make changes, right? There's already development happening. There's already over 30 projects that have said that they are working. I think the number was 28 as of yesterday that are building on ETH POW, right? So ETF is another fork. Now we're going to have 2 proof of work chains. Which one's going to succeed? Which one's going to gain more development? Which one's going to gain more adoption? But now is that time where that $10 buys you, 600,000 hex, right? Now, we don't know if that's going to, where that's going to go from here. Is it going to gain a lot of adoption? Is it going to, we don't know, but let's get into it. So bullish.
Right now, Bullish is going on to MEXC and to show people how that kind of process works, because that's kind of the biggest factor.
Yeah, just give me like 2 more minutes. I'm transferring fresh USDT into MXC so I can show people how to do that process.
All right, guys, the viewership is ramping up, so let's just do a shill, and then because we might stay on a little longer. Bullish might, I might, but I want to drop this tweet that I put out because people are getting involved now. I said ETH, ETHW, and ETHF, Hex, HEXW, HEXF. I own them all, and each on Hex. This was not easy to do, and I'll explain how to do it safely with my team right now, live. Guys, if you want the little guy to learn and how to make plays when they don't have a wallet that's over leveraged of stakes that they have to worry about like it's their child, then you invite them here so we can teach them how liquidity, the price movement, these assets really work.
Yes.
So retweet that shit right now.
And so there is, ETF, right? This is the other fork. There is already a Uniswap v3 front end up for it, right? Just like we've been using KyberSwap, but you still have to be able to get over there. This is it, Ethereum Fair. So I haven't read through anything on this side yet, but this is their actual site here. Do they have any of the resources on their site, Bullish?
So on this one, they don't and I haven't really tried to connect I guess I can try to connect the burner wallet I have I'm doing the demo with, but I essentially came here, went to the bottom, and went straight to their Twitter and to their Telegram. So let me pull up their Twitter and share that real quick. Hold on, let me just.
Yep. Well, you're pulling it up, then we want to learn from you what the steps were after you pull up their Twitter. How does one get to ETF, right? That's going to be the Ethereum fair.
Right. So I found out about this around yesterday afternoon. A Hexagon actually posted it. Lately there's been a lot of discussion around, ETH proof of stake versus proof of work. So, there's a lot of, conversation and discussions going on Twitter. And Hexagon came in and he goes, "Are you guys aware that there was a second one?" And that was news to me. I was like, wait, what? There's a second one? So when I looked into it and I joined the Telegram group, there was pretty much no one in there. And I was like, wait, hold up. Let me look into this, because this is essentially, what we've been preparing for. So immediately I went into the Telegram, try to find out, where it can be purchased, where it can be swapped, etc. Block Explorer, RPC settings, the whole 9 yards. Went through that whole process. When I was in the Telegram, I bumped into some other Hexagons who were already in there. So I wasn't the first one. And then we just went through the process of figuring out, where to buy, where to swap. And in the very beginning, the only way you were able to get it was Gate.io, Polynex, and some other one. Unfortunately, I'm unable to buy any of those, but we have Hexagons. So I went into Twitter Spaces. I said, who has a Gate.io account? A couple people raised their hands. I was like, all right, let me send you some money. Get me some ETF. So we can test this out. And in Twitter Spaces, we were, figuring it out live. And then a few hours later after that, MEXC added support. So
okay, so fantastic. So you yesterday, please stay on here, and then I'm just going to ask you some questions.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
It looks like Mr. Dolo was the one you were chatting with yesterday. What's up, Dolo? Great to see you here. So you hear about this other ETF fork of Ethereum, and trying to figure out how to get over there. You were able to get a workaround. You'd be like, "Hey, Sam, you have an account over there. Can you buy some of this for me? $50 worth, and then I'll send you $50 on Cash App, or if USDC, and you send me the ETF. Yeah, sure, cool, got that done. Now, for me, for everybody else who wants to be in their, take that tiny itty bit of cash and just see if that $10 or that $100 turns into something substantial into the future, because this is the community, and this has been highlighted multiple times in the sense that you just highlighted this when you went into the chat for this ETF fork.
Right.
Who are you running into? Hexicans. When we look at the deck screener for POW, proof of work, the other fork, there's this, if anybody's not following my Twitter, they should be, the top 100 pairs. These are all the pairs of like Hex, ETH, blah, blah, blah. All the pairs of the top 100 that are traded based on transactional volume. Hex, Hedron, all of this ecosystem that we're in is dominating that list. The top 10 traded pairs are all in this community. Those 6 of the top 10 yesterday were all in this community. Then Bullish is diving into the ETF and he's running into more hexagons. This community is the smart community. This community is the people that can take advantage of this stuff. So Bullish, I'm starting at 0. I have $100. I'm willing to lose $100 because the amount is so small. How would I go about taking my $100 and putting this into ETF for the moonshot?
Right. So the first thing you want to do is get your hands on USDT. So the good thing about it is there's plenty of centralized exchanges. You can go on Uniswap, etc. So since I'm usually holding on to USDC, I went to Uniswap. I swapped USDC for USDT. Then I took that. Let me share my screen because and guys, just a disclaimer, like the addresses and stuff like that you're about to see, this is all burner stuff. The amounts I invested are minimal, so like I'm not worried about it.
Yes.
Like
so top
demonstration purposes, like it's fine. So just so like everyone can just be like, oh, you're showing this, you're showing that. I'm aware of it. So let me share my screen. So once I had my hands on USDT, I'm sorry.
And this is on 2.0. Just for anybody.
Correct. Right. This is on mainnet. So I'm just going to refer to, Ethereum proof of stake as mainnet. So, I did everything on mainnet and then I transferred it here into MXC Global. So you can see here, this one, I just did it right now. Just added 20 USDT just so you can see, the process. So once you have USDT in your account, you want to go to market, search ETHF, that's what it's listed as, even though the ticker symbol is ETF. When you click on this here, this is just has to do with verification, phone number, stuff like that. When I'm actually doing the transaction, I'm going to hide it just so I can do it because it's going through. I don't want to share that information. Yep. And then I'll bring it back on. So whatever. It's just telling me to do authenticator.
If somebody has a mexc.com account, they don't, at least I haven't required for me.
No KYC.
There's no KYC. So you can take this. This is a centralized exchange where you can take the $20, send it to this exchange. You go to wallets overview, then how Bullish was showing you deposit $20 in there. And then you can go to their marketplace and they have listed ETF. It's listed as ETHF. And then you're going to swap. And do you say we're going to watch you swap this?
Yeah.
And then move? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is just security settings. Again, I set this up just for demonstration purposes. So you want to go, if you want to mess around with limit orders and all that stuff, you can do that or waste your time. Like I'm trying to get in and out the system. I don't want my money sitting here for too long. So I'm just going to do market buy.
Yes, because we don't trust MEXC, but we don't have to, guys, because it takes 6 seconds to send and swap and then send it away. And I never had to KYC, and I did. I think I got like probably $1,800 worth of value through the thing with really no issue.
Right. So so pretty much the USD, as long as you're sending in the crypto and doing your swaps and sending it out, there's no KYC up to a certain amount. But if you want to buy directly from them, they're gonna make you KYC. So that's why we're saying go get your hands on USDT outside the system of MXC system and bring it in, and you can avoid KYC. So I'm just gonna do max. I'm gonna do buy. It's really quick, order done. You know how centralized exchange works. It's already in there. So I'm going to hide it real quick and just send it out. And to send it out, essentially, you go back to wallets, overview. You're going to see it show up here.
And then there you go.
And then, you're going to click withdraw. You
Yep.
click withdraw. You're going to enter in, the address you want to send it to. This has to be, obviously a EVM based wallet. And
so why don't you go through and send this through, Bullish? I took it down. Why don't you go through and send that through? And then I think the wallet has to be different, right? So go ahead and send it through. If you guys,
so that's some of the stuff I'm gonna touch on. You can send it to MetaMask. And that's initially what I did. And then when I realized the centralized exchange has their own specific wallet to do the swaps, then I sent it to their wallet, made the swaps, and then sent it back to my MetaMask.
And so after you get this off of there, let's touch on the adding the network, right? Because people have MetaMask is the most common one. So how does somebody take their MetaMask and add this new network to it, right? Because you have the RPC settings, you have the name, you have the chain ID. There's like 2 or 3 other things, and all of what I just said is like gibberish to half the people who are listening, right? So let's go take a look. What do we have here, Bullish?
So here is some of the details for a Medium article that they wrote. That's pretty much going over their chain, the RPC settings and stuff like that. And this is incorrect. It's different from the official one. Hold on a second.
That's right. We'll get that correct information.
I have all the settings right here. I post them in the private.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see why I got confused. This is the one for testnet. Hold on, I'll get the production one.
Make sure you double check all this stuff, but this is what I use, so I'll just
the one you use is the one I sent you. That came directly from the official Telegram.
But you have to make sure you put HTTP/ in front of the RPC settings, and don't just leave it RPC.
So what did you put in? Okay, so you put in the chain ID, all this information for your symbol, Explorer, all that kind of stuff. GRC just did it. It's up there on the screen. And then Bullish is going to share where to actually find this information in a second. I wanted to highlight something really quick in the chat because there's some people who are FUDing or some people who are just like naive or clueless about this kind of stuff, right? And they're talking about this stuff.
It's just more naive because it dilutes their asset that they have, that they spend a lot of money on.
If you guys are you're like, I don't want to do this, then don't do this, right? We're not recommending anybody fucking do any of this shit. We're showing you because we're going to take a little bit of our own money and tell you about it. And then in 6 weeks, if the money's zero, we'll be like, hey guys, fucking shit's zero. Like, period. We're not.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you not to do anything. Sit on your hands and be a total wrecked pleb. That's what wrecked plebs do.
And the truth of the matter is, other people figured it out before I did. So there was people already doing it and not sharing the information.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, we're not the first guys that figured this shit out. We're probably like the 10th.
This is the best community to figure this out. But this is actually helpful for Hex. If the people here are probably like,
we'll explain that too. We'll explain how it's good for Hex.
So KG, right? What's up, KG? Awesome to see you here.
KG, are you in go position today? Because I would love to have a stream with you. Please confirm or deny in the chat.
KG is the founder of Internet Money, the wallet that's going to be coming out for PulseChain, right? And it's probably going to launch for other places. Super interesting project. Go follow him on Twitter. Yesterday, he tweeted out that he is in the official chat for ETH POW. And remember how I told you that if you look at DEX Screener, the top trading pairs like ETH and Hex, Hedron, Hex, etc. All the top 100 is dominated by Hex and Hedron and Icosa and Maxi, etc. So he posted a screenshot of the official chat, and there's people in there who are like, "What is this Hex thing that is utterly dominating the DEX Screener pairs?" So if somebody's talking about these other forks, what they're effectively doing is trying to talk shit about the brand that is Hex, because this is causing adoption of Hex, whether you like it, whether you understand it or not.
Or whether it dilutes your USD value or not. Just because something dilutes your USD value and liquidity, remember, we said Hex at the top's liquidity is similar to Hex right now at the bottom's liquidity. So it's just a different type of asset that's riskier frankly, it's riskier. Frankly, it's harder to do, and frankly, it takes more learning and more diligence to accomplish. And that's usually like the guys who are on vacation, the guys who are doing other stuff. They're going to not really be incentivized to tell you, hey, get involved. Me and Sam and Bullish, we don't do vacations. We keep the phone on the hip. We keep the computer on the go.
Oh no, I do vacations. I just take work with me.
You know, you got a laptop, so you ain't silly with it.
Bullish, you have some stuff pulled up.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna show the actual swap now. Let me just post.
We got 8 more minutes, guys. So milk these guys. I'm telling you, we're not giving you.
Post it in the chat real quick. That's the official Telegram group. And you know, in there you can find RPC settings and the whole 9 yards.
I'll post that.
And I also show the RPC settings for MetaMask once I'm done with this. So part of this process with BitKeep is the actual DEX that works. So what I did is from MXC
pose you up on the screen. From
MXCX Global. Sorry, I haven't slept, so I'm getting a little brain farts. But from MXCX Global, I sent it directly into the BitKeep wallet. So BitKeep wallet is similar to like MetaMask. So
can you make your DEX a little bit bigger for people that are watching on their phone? Perfect. That's great. Thank you.
This is perfect.
So go ahead and talk about the BitKeep wallet. What is this again?
BitKeep wallet is something similar to MetaMask. So it's a Chrome extension. You know, they also have a mobile app. So you know, the way this works is you have to use their wallet to do the swaps. Like you just can't connect MetaMask. So again, we're emphasizing don't do this with your main wallets. As you can see, I'm bringing in fresh capital. I'm not using any of the copies that that they gave me or anything like that. I haven't even touched those wallets yet. Brand new wallet, brand new browser, etc. So I have this. So once it's installed, it's gonna give you a seed phrase just like MetaMask, the whole 9 yards. You got to put in a password. And now I have the ETF that I purchased on MXC Global now in the BitKeep wallet.
Gotcha.
So now from the BitKeep wallet, right now that I'm here on the website, I want to click on the drop down menu. They support both chains, but we're gonna select Ethereum Fair. Right, we're gonna swap this. This is ETF, as you can see here, the balance, and then I'm gonna change this to Hex. So if you want to find Hex, you have to paste the contract address here.
So the contract address is because people are gonna not know where to find this. Go ahead and tell people where to find the contract address. Go to the fucking Block Explorer. Right.
So if you want to play it safe, like they also have their own Block Explorer, but just go to Etherscan, type in Hex. At this point, I already know what it ends with. But it ends with 39. So you'll have the contract address there. This thing. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have copy this.
Go back to the exchange. You're gonna put that in there.
You're gonna paste it. It's gonna search and it's gonna find Hex.
Just like you'd import something to Uniswap V3 on mainnet, or you'd import something to MetaMask. Thank you.
Right. So you can see, an idea, one full ETF, which is valued at, and I'll pull up the chart in a little bit. Right now, it's at $1.32.
Okay, so let me wait
32% on the daily, boy.
So I'm going to be pulling up. I'm just curious on this. I'm going to pull up one ETH. Okay, so just for reference, folks, what is the ratio for ETH? One ETH equals 3,833 hex. So that means one ETH, when we already know the ratios are off over there, and that's where the ratios have been slightly corrected already, because that's where a lot of people have been going. It's one ETH for 3,800. Here, one ETH, right? ETF is 14,000 hex. And these ETH things, how much are ETH trading for?
$1.32 at the moment.
Think about that, guys. And put okay. So
wait, you saying ETF? ETF is at $1.32 at the moment.
Is what can you do with Hex? Is there a front end?
So through trial and error, I found and someone please in the chat correct me, because again, I haven't slept yet. I think it's app win backup or whatever it is one of these front end that another Hex can build. Because gold.hex.com doesn't have support yet. Alex, we haven't spoken to him yet, so he hasn't confirmed if he's going to add support.
I'm pestering him in his deal.
But this other website, App Win Hex, I think it's called. I'll try to remember it and drop it in the chat. it worked on there, even though it gave me an error and said you're on the wrong network.
When you checked the blockchain, it was there.
It was there. Yeah. So I was like, okay, it works. So
so you can stake your hex and earn trustless yield on EFT.
That's horrible.
Yeah, App HEX win. There we go. App HEX
their
win.
user base. This is horrible. Now they can earn yield.
Yeah. So App HEX win on there, like as long as you're, and I'll go through the process so people can see it now that and thanks Bruce for sharing that.
And at 12:30 going live with KG, guys.
So look, if you want, we'll go through the process. I'll do one. Look, I'm gonna swap this.
He's gonna confirm it. Right. And also the interesting thing on these other chains, guys, it's dirt cheap to trade anything.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah,
there's literally no one on there.
It's like fractions of it was like a penny or something to trade on ETH POW the other day, but this is probably even less than that. So now this is going through. We're just waiting for this transaction, and then
we'll wait for it and we'll see the balance update.
This is cool stuff. Could go to zero, but it could also not go to zero.
Yeah, there we go. So there, the balance updated. So now I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it with Hedron. Let's do.
I'm gonna pull up
ETF
here. We're about to get crazy.
203 in the chat, guys. Please smash the like. Please hit the bell. And please subscribe.
272 million.
Versus ETH POW. Versus ETH POW, which has already had a giant correction. We just talked about at the beginning of the show. You can go back and watch if you're just tuning in. ETH POW, 1 ETH POW equals 37 million. 37 million versus here 275. 272 million Hedron for and one ETF is $1.35.
All right. I want to fucking cancel the show.
Yeah, I'm ready to cancel. I'm ready to stop the show. I
cancel this whole channel. Like, why are we doing this? I need to get this bag.
You should have been following along on your crypto computer.
I was.
Anyway,
I did it, but I just have to spend a little more time on it.
Don't worry, I have enough to send you.
I never have.
And guys, I'm like even though I'm like kind of like bragging, like low key, I've only spent like less than $300. Like that's like a third of my weekly weed budget.
That's why it's fun.
And remember, like if $300 feels like a lot of money to you, don't fucking spend $300. Spend $30. Right? Like it has to be money that you can just.
Hey, crypto doesn't stop on work schedules, bro.
So all right, so I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna swap it, and then I'm gonna show you how to get it out of BitKeep into MetaMask.
Let's end this at noon so I can go set this up real quick.
I'm so happy that people are paying attention and they're excited in the chat.
And last night,
214 in here.
Yeah, last night, Dipcatcher was live. I didn't sleep, so I was pretty much watching the whole time with him, and I was in the chat, pretty much telling people like, like you guys heard of this stuff, and no one heard of it. Dipcatcher looked into it, and he asked the audience, "You guys want me to add support right now?" And everyone was like, "Yeah." So he literally live on the live stream, he added support, and I think I was the first one to mint all the perpetuals and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Did you guys catch that? Dipcatcher live last night added support so you can take your hex onto ETF and you can mint perpetuals. This is pretty cool shit. So this is it seems like it does take a little bit of time, which is
this one is taking a bit. I don't know why this one's taking forever, because usually it's pretty quick.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like the regular.
Hey, while that's going, let me pull up the chart.
Yes, dope. Because the chart went like this. It went straight vertical for a minute or so. I was looking at it earlier.
Yeah, Dex Screener is not supported yet, but they confirmed that they're adding support.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to share your screen here. So this is $1.32, guys.
Yeah, let me refresh it. Make sure it's $1.31 now.
Okay.
And here's a chart.
Last 24 hours. So in all time, it's up 34%, it says.
Yeah, let me just do max. So, this is typical. The same thing happened with ETH Proof of Work.
Yep.
Skyrocketed to around the same price range and then came down and found its,
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. I said all time. I thought I said all time high was 34%. It's actually down 34% and up. I'm sorry. It's up 34% from the all time low. I misread that. All time high was 20 and 50 cents.
Right.
That's what you can
and
see.
This is in the past 3 days. In the past 3 days, and it launched like 4 days ago or something like that. I don't know.
Damn, this is crazy. Do we have any idea of the number of projects launching over here or any type of development or anything happening, this would be interesting.
I think it's all going to be very clear in a few days.
So one thing to note, the Justin Sun, I believe his name is, the guy behind the Tron Foundation.
Yep.
He supports this chain.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And he does a lot of marketing, especially in like China, Korea, Japan, all that kind of stuff. That's where Tron is really big, because he's the guy behind all that stuff, I think.
I just want people, more people, adoption, scaling. I don't care about your money in your wallet. I want this shit to work out. But I also want to be able to spend a few $100s and make all my pain go away. Okay. So like, it's
All
not
right.
that hard to do both.
Let's wrap this up. So here's the last step.
Wrap it up.
1 second.
And then I'm going to be adding probably about $100 after I get off of this.
So as you see here, I did the Hedron. So now what I want to do is, and
I shared your screen. Do you want me to take it down?
hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah, this is the right one. Yeah, all right. So yeah, this is a test one. As you can see here, I have like 87, couple million hex, a million base, a million trio, a million lucky. You know, I don't know how many Hedron. This is a one I set up just for this. Purposely put it in here. It basically looks like a PulseChain testnet wallet. That's basically what it looks like.
You have like a trillion Hedron there at the bottom.
I don't know.
There's so much of it.
But yeah, but like anyone who's been on testnet, this is reminiscent of testnet. But it's real money, but it's not a lot of money. All this stuff you see here is probably less than $100 at the time that I purchased it.
Wow, super awesome. If you guys like the show, take a second and share this with somebody else you know in crypto. Sharing the video out and sharing this information. This is the best community from the smartest people in crypto, the people who are on top of the stuff that are really paying attention. So if you enjoyed the show, if you got value from it, take a second. There's an arrow down there, right? Press that, share this out with somebody else. Most people in crypto, and there's around 300 million, estimated around 300 million people globally in crypto, don't have any effing clue what we're talking about. And you might be like, well, that's me. You have access to this information through this video. Take a second, rewatch this video, go through, press the share this button now with somebody else that can help walk you through this kind of stuff. I think that they're bullish. Are you taking consultations? I'm taking consultations, but it's going to have to be a DM. I don't have the link up.
But not for financial advice. If like, but I have been behind the scenes. I do provide my services behind the scenes. So, but not usually for like crypto consultations. Like, I wouldn't dare feel comfortable giving that type of advice right now.
Yeah, because your shit could go to zero. So,
well, it's not even. Well, yeah. Aside from that, is like like I bring in a certain skill set. One of them is not crypto. Yeah, it may seem like I'm a crypto expert because I get certain things in tech and certain financial products and stuff like that. But at no point to give advice, because the way I invest, I don't recommend everyone else to invest.
I agree. Cool. This has been awesome.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. So real quick, just to show you guys. What is the name of the? I basically want to show people like the Maximus real quick.
Yes, please. So this is the Maximus site that allows you to mint Defi, Team, Base, Trio, Lucky that Dipcatcher set up literally last night.
Yeah, last night. So we're gonna connect our MetaMask.
What's the site? Can you give us the URL?
Yeah, I'll post it here.
We'll put this into the chat. This is what Dipcatcher put to. I'll share it out into the group. Oh, thank you. Right here on the screen. That's the URL.
And there's one for Team as well. But trying to get Maxi, regardless if it's proof of ETH POW or ETH F, is like close to impossible. no one wants to give up their Maxi. So it's asking you pretty much which network. So we want to do Ethereum Fair.
And you can use MetaMask. You don't have to use a separate wallet.
Oh, there we go. I connected. All right. I thought it didn't. All right, Ethereum Fair. There we go. Right. So, seeing how much, hex I have, whatever. Just, for the sake of this, I'm going to do 1,000. Boom. MetaMask pops up. The whole shebang.
Can you afford 1,000, bro? You only have 30 million. And then
just like any, typical,
Comes up.
transaction. Yeah, you have to wait after you approve it, and then I'll be able to mint. So let's give this a second.
Dope. So what's up to the chat here? Serge, Sandy, the Nuker, Hex Love, Simba, Hex, Black Win, Black
There we
Pepper,
go.
Nikki, Alan. What's Gucci?
Let's mint
Done.
some base. Confirm, and yeah, it's pretty much done. And we'll see the balance update. And you know, if you guys want to see what's the other one? Hold on a second.
Well, they can get the idea. If you
Yeah,
go through the same site to do base, trio, lucky, or desi, whatever one you want to do, you go through the same site. We just shared it. It's ETH POW something perpetuals.maximus.cash. You can check out the link right down there if you care to check out that stuff. So
and this is me literally staking Hex.
Okay, and you want to zoom in a little bit on this one? This is for the URL guys. If you care to look into this kind of stuff, it's apphex.win.
Apphex.win.
Thank you. Okay, so
Yeah,
this one,
and
this
there
one,
it goes.
this
There's
one
the
looks a little
confirmation on the
false.
bottom.
This is a little bit clunky looking.
But for the moment, it's the only one that's working. That's why I'm really and no FUD to this website. I like the simplicity of it. Like really, you know, it's very nice and simple. You know, easy to the point. But yeah, I would love to see Alex add some support so we can play with the Hedron staking and you know create some HSIs, get some ICOSA, you know, do the whole thing there and hopefully people who are interacting with that chain get to see the stuff similar like they did with you know ETH POW, and they're like, you know, what is Hex? What is this? What is that? You know. For even less dollar amount than what you have to do with ETH POW, we can do it here.
Yeah, and the one thing that's really funny, guys, before we go, is that you guys support getting a free airdrop on a chain from Richard, but you don't support, a lot of people don't support getting a free airdrop on chains from other people. And that's called stupid. So we don't like stupid, and we don't like to be stupid. And we want to be guys that make the calls, don't have to wait for 3 days for Richard to come out with the tweet, and then I'll make a decision a day after that. And then, oh, wait, there's $1 billion in market cap in HexW. Oh, wait, there's $10 billion in market cap in HexW. So what we're doing is giving you the info. You could do with it what you please, guys. But I'm coming back on, and Sam can if he wants. He's probably busy. But in 20 minutes, guys, with KG, he's a dev. He's building a wallet, internet money. He knows how to launch stuff. He knows about security. He knows about everything. And I want to know about security, staying safe, and his opinion on all of these things and how the future looks. Unbiased opinion, because guess what? KG is willing to work. KG is willing to switch it up. KG is willing to have a flexible product, and he's willing to learn about the future properly and tell people the truth. So, and I did a show with Trayvon and Funding Gym yesterday. That was an absolute banger, guys. If you want to watch that, Trayvon came here, chilled for like an hour with Dip Catcher, with Funding Gym. That was a fun episode, guys. If you have questions, I don't know how much more Bullish has in the tank, guys. And I'll be with KG. I'll answer what I can. And
yeah, literally, like we walked through the whole process. Like I pretty much like been repeating myself for the past 4 hours. So yeah, just like share this video, give them the timestamp. Like you literally saw us walk through the whole process. And again, please do not play with, you know, house money, rent money, you know, like if you have, you know, if you want to play around with $20, you just saw how much $20, not even $20. What I just spent was $2, and look at all the stuff I got.
Yeah, incredible.
Essentially $3, you know?
Thank you, Bullish. Everybody, make sure you go over to Twitter and thank Bullish and give him a follow over there, as well as GRC, link down below, and myself. GRC, let's take us out of here.
DeFi proof, guys. I'll be back in 19 minutes with KG from Internet Money. We'll be answering questions. We'll be talking about the future. We'll be talking about everything, guys. Have an incredible day. Peace it out.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some Hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some Hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some Maxi and that just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way.